Oh yeah, what a win. I'd like to start tonight's take off by saying, first and foremost, that Gary Trent Jr. and Fred Vanvleet had the biggest pair of cojones one could imagine during crunch time in that one. Not to mention OG's block, but that turned into a nail-biter. And with a couple minutes left, we were about to sell it. And out came Captain Fred Van Vizzle to save the day. Clutch 3 by him, an even bigger clutch 3 by Gary Trent Jr. Fading from the baseline. I was about to lose my shit when I saw Gary taking that shot. I was like, boy, no, that is not, no, Freddie's open, no. But he made it. Nothing but nylon. Swish. That was golden. Gary Trent Jr. has that Ice in Veins badge on 2K, on Hall of Fame, yo. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That guy's different, famos. That guy's different. And I'm gonna tell you this too. Fred Vanvleet, his shaky start, that guy shook that rust off right on time. Because this team needs him. He's leading the league in minutes. This is on a night of a back-to-back. And for us to pull through the way we did showed so much heart, guys. This was a huge win for us. I know it was against the Philly team without Embiid. They were supposed to be even more depleted today. And then Tobias Harris came back. And Tyrese Maxey has been playing really well. They have lethal shooters in Seth Curry. Furkan Korkmaz has been playing really well. It's still an NBA team with NBA players on it. People were talking like this is a G League team and we have to beat them. It's not like that in the NBA nowadays. As one of my favorite NBA analysts on YouTube always mentions, he's a Raptors fan as well, NBA chef. He's always saying that this is the era right now that we're in, and I agree with him big time. We're in a certain kind of era in the NBA right now where you have to know how to play. It's no longer you have superstars and they're gonna do it for you. They're not gonna run the thing for you anymore. It's gonna be about a team and collaborative effort. Can you ball? Do you know how to play the game? One-trick ponies or teams that had multiple superstars, those things are becoming a thing of the past now. The teams that have multiple superstars still need the rest of the team nowadays because the game has evolved. And the Toronto Raptors seem to be the ones that have started that trend or caused that to be a trend. And it's beautiful. It's more than beautiful, it's biblical. What Masai Ujiri and co have done here by creating this roster is essentially foresee future plan toward the direction that this league is heading in, the NBA. And we're the pioneers and the forefront runners showing the league how it's done. The versatility of our roster, the depth of it, the mixture of youth, hunger, and personnel, battle-tested on a world championship stage, winners of a world championship, with up-and-coming stars such as Scottie Barnes, and might I add Delano Banton, and more, that we may not even be looking at right now because that's how deep the prospecting and the scouting, the elite prospecting and scouting, may I add, of the Toronto Raptors front office management and this organization in general, the path that they're heading in. It is a biblical path for the rest of the league. It's going to be historical because we are looking like we're going to be a dynasty, as I said in my previous takes. By the way, this is Ali from Jura6ix, and this is a brand new channel. We are based in Toronto. If you can just hit that like and subscribe button, show us some love so we can continue bringing that dope NBA content. I'm also part of another channel as well called Basketball Zone, so do give us some love and we'll really appreciate that. Having said that, I'm just going to break down really quickly the performers of the game. I'm going to say Fred VanVleet had an amazing game once again. He's been just back to steady Freddy. He's been steady now, true to the name, because he was quite inconsistent from the preseason leading up to the first few games of the season. And I'm so happy to see him just come out of that slump in such dramatic fashion. He's been amazing for us. He's pioneered, or he's led us to wins. He's carried us on his back. And tonight was a testament to the true leadership role that he has now embraced with Kyle Lowry having departed. So just amazing game from Freddie. 32 points. He was a plus 14 on the night. 7 assists. He had a steal. He only had 1 turnover. That was a big thing earlier in the season where I was like, dude needs to stop turning the ball over so much. He had this one game where he had 17 assists. I don't remember which team it was against. It may have been the Pacers. And he had 8 turnovers in that game. It totally nullified. No, it was against the Bulls, I believe. And it totally nullified the 17 assists, you know? So it was just really, really good to see Freddie just really improve on those turnover numbers. I've seen his turnover numbers in the box score for quite a while now, ever since he came out of his slump, and it's just been golden. It's exactly what we need. He played 40 minutes tonight on a back-to-back. Fred VanVleet, he's Iron Man, as Jack Armstrong was saying in the feed today. Love Jack Armstrong, by the way. I mean, you got to give love to Leo Routins and everybody as well. But Jack Armstrong's just so goddamn entertaining. You know, it's just the best thing. I'm like, get that garbage out of here. It's just like the best thing ever, you know? Legendary. And Matt Devlin grew on me. You know, Chuck Swirsky, you know, bring out the salami and cheese, mama. This ball game's over. That stuff over there. Man, I totally loved Chuck Swirsky. He was like the epitome of greatness for me in the beginning of my basketball ventures. Do you guys remember that? Onions, baby, onions. It was like the sweetest thing ever. Do you guys remember that call with Mo Pete? When Mo Pete got the ball after a turnover, hideous turnover by like Brendan Haywood when we were like about to lose the game to Washington Wizards in the 4th quarter. And then Mo Pete just hails it up and Chuck Swirsky's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The Toronto Raptors are going to overtime by a Hail Mary 3 from Mo Pete. I don't believe what I just saw. That memory's etched in my skull forever. And by the way, like I said, I like to ramble a lot, so I am going to continue on here. Like I said, huge game from Gary Trent Jr., especially that last shot. He's been so instrumental for us in so many different ways, it's not even funny. Dude's just been a beast defensively. He's one of the top leaders in steals. If he's not leading the league in steals right now, I haven't checked recently and I do apologize, but he is one of the leaders in steals. I know that. He was leading the league in steals just not long ago, and he just may be still leading it. I will double check that stat. I'll post it in the comments after. Couple steals for him. He had 4 assists as well, 5 rebounds. Good all-around game from Gary Trent Jr. Great all-around game. 7 of 16 from the field. Pretty decent efficiency. 4 of 9 from 3-point range. Much better than his usual. The usual problem I ever have with Gary Trent Jr. and I've had with Gary Trent Jr. at all this season has been his field goal percentage. Sometimes it just hasn't been up to par. But then he shoots like this, you know. And then he has nights where he'll back-to-back shoots like that. He'll shoot really well, and he just needs to develop that consistency, and he's automatically going to be a shoo-in for, like, you know, most improved player. He's going to be that good. And he's definitely going to be in the running for DPOY, or at least all defensive teams, because he's been a monster defensively this year. Those steals, just legendary. I just saw a YouTube thumbnail recently on some popular YouTube channel, and what were they saying? No cap, I'm not even kidding you. They were asking a question in the YouTube thumbnail, asking whether Gary Trent Jr. is the best defender of all time. Now, guys, obviously, like, let's just slow down there for a second. But yo, if people are talking like that and dedicating YouTube videos like that to Gary Trent Jr., then we got to start giving attention to where it's being deserved, you know, to where it's deserved, right? So, Scottie Barnes, great game from the rookie again. He's just been so impressive. He had 2 blocks in this one, a steal. Defensively, always a nightmare. 13 points, maybe not a 20-point performance. You can't expect that every night, but great all-around game. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He was a catalyst on the offensive glass. 6 offensive rebounds from his 9 rebounds. You know, that's just amazing. 6 of them were offensive. One of one from the free throw range. So, you know, that's great. He took a free throw, he made it. His field goal percentage has been so good. 6 of 13. That's just very efficient from the rookie. He's been so impressive. He played 39 minutes tonight. OG Anunoby had 20 points. He had 4 rebounds. He had an offensive rebound with that. 4 assists as well. He had a steal. And great all-around performance from OG. He also played 39 minutes. And Block Québécois came out of his slump today, guys. His first really standout game of the season. I'm so happy for the Slim Duck. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal, 2 of them were offensive, those rebounds, by the way. He was 1 of 3 from 3-point range, and he was 7 of 12 from the field. He played a season high 24 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's a season high because I've only been seeing him play like 17, 18 minutes all season. And it's fantastic to see him finally come out of that slump. And I'm so extra happy about that because I have him on one of my fantasy teams. And the dude has been shitting the bed. I've seen him on the waiver wire on both the leagues that I'm in right now. And it's kind of sad, but I'm just glad to see that this happened. You know, because this dude's like really has been shitting the bed. Overall, this game was just awesome. Banton and Mihailuk did what they had to do. They had 16 and 16 minutes each. That was great from them. You know, what they did during that time was effective. 5 points for Mihailuk. He had 2 assists. He had 4 rebounds. 3 of his rebounds were offensive, by the way. So a dog on the offensive boards, and he shot efficiently as well. 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3-point range. Delano Banton had 1. He was 1 of 3 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, and he had 3 rebounds or 4 rebounds altogether. 1 of them offensive, and he had 2 assists as well with 4 points. Decent for Delano. But Delano was playing within the system today. It was very noticeable, and he had a great game. Sometimes you just don't see things appear in the box score that are important in basketball in order to continue the flow of the game and to play within the system and find other people, because he did have a couple of assists as well. So remember, those are like points too, depending on how you got those assists. So we must keep that in mind. Let's not only judge players by their box score all the time. Except for Chris Boucher, because he was just really bad throughout. If it's consistent in the box score where they just don't ever put up points, then yeah, you know, then there might be a little bit of a problem. Maybe a boost is needed, or maybe that player just ain't it, you know, G League bound. But anyways, Tobias Harris, he came back for the Philadelphia 76ers. He had 19 points. He had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Really good for him, and really good for me as well on one of my fantasy teams, because I was really hurting without Harris last week. I really needed his production, so I'm very happy to see him back, even though it had to be against us that he's back. Drummond was a beast today. He was just so noticeable, and he was just doing crazy Drummond things. 4 blocks, 12 boards, 5 of them offensive, and then he shot shitty from the field. That's just how Drummond is, right? So like I said, Drummond things. He had 4 points, but the rest of the things that he does, it's just tremendous. Sometimes you're just like, dude, you can wreck everybody on the boards. Just polish up a couple of things. You'll make yourself a couple $100 million, man. Like, who's stopping Drummond? You know, if you can board like that, dude, you're one of the best rebounders of all time, and people make fun of you. Like, you're here playing all these minutes when you should be playing starter minutes. You're only playing these minutes because of Embiid being out. Sucks for you, bro. Honestly, Drummond, if you just worked on the right things, my brother. Anyways, whatever, man. Who am I to say? Tyrese Maxey has been killing it lately. 33 points. He was killing it in the first half especially. He had a couple blocks, and he really was instrumental in Philly coming back and tying this one close. But we were able to sustain and able to obviously come away with the win because of Gary Trent Jr. and Fred VanVleet's testicles. Those are the reasons why. And Seth Curry had a good game as well for Philly. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists for him. He had a steal as well. He didn't shoot too well from the field, 4 of 12, but from 3 he did Curry things, 2 of 5, you know, Curry family, all of them guys shoot 3 as well. And off the bench for Philly, Shake Milton at 12 points, a couple offensive boards, 5 of 6 from the field, very efficient, 1 of 2 from 3-point range as well. And that's pretty much how the cookie crumbled for this one, guys. Toronto Raptors are back on the win column after a couple of hideous, I wouldn't say hideous, but a couple of losses that a couple of hideous offensive performances. How about that? I'll say that. Now we're getting the buckets to fall. We can hopefully get this streak going again and stay on the win column for the foreseeable future and beyond. Because we are Raptors Nation and we got to keep that hope. Let's go for win number 2 in a row. If y'all haven't seen that Scottie Barnes documentary that I just made, do check it out. It is a mini doc and it is on Basketball Zone as well. And also a Yuta Watanabe documentary that I dropped recently has been gaining a lot of traction, especially in Japan. Do show your support because Yuta's story is pretty cool, you know. Even take a look at the video, take a look at the Scottie Barnes video. You get some good in-depth analysis of who these players are and where they came from. And with that being said, this is Ali from Jura6ix. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button so we can continue bringing you that dope NBA content.